This is going to be the kickoff of many reviews to come, where I'm going to try to watch and review each film in my collection alphabetically. I've cataloged every film, starting with the symbols, then getting into numbers, then A to Z. Now, when I get to certain franchises, of course, I will review each one. Like the Batman films, the Lethal Weapon films, the Alien films, and also too, there's going to be double packs and triple packs and four packs, which consist of different movies, and I sort of threw them in there, so they're mixed in and they're sort of scattered about, but I'll get to those. So, yeah, it's a long list of movies, but I'm going to try to, do this. And also, too, it's going to be interesting because there's quite a few films in my collection which I've never seen before. So there's going to be quite a few of those, for me, is going to be a first-time watch. And to kick off this, again, you have to start from the beginning. And I forgot this film has an asterisk in the title. But of course, talking about today, Batteries Not Included, which is a good 80s movie. And what's interesting is, I was looking up information about the film. Originally, is going to be an episode, I think it was thought up as an idea for an episode of Amazing Stories for people who remember that show back in the day. I think Spielberg had came up with the story that originally he wanted to use that for Amazing Stories, but decided to make it into a film. And the plot here is pretty basic. You have these tenants that live in this building, and these developers want to tear it down. So you have these thug-type characters that are hired to go in there to sort of kick out the tenants. One of them is Michael Carmine, who I remember he was in Leviathan. He was one of the characters in Leviathan. And unfortunately, I think he passed away the same year Leviathan came out. But and that's one thing that I've noticed with this movie. There's a lot of the cast is passed away, deceased, which is unfortunate. There's some really good actors and actresses in this movie, and unfortunately, a lot of them are gone, and it's sad. From Jessica Tandy, and I forgot that actor's name. Yeah, Hume Cronin. Both of them would actually, I think they were married for a long time. And of course they would be in Cocoon together. And they're in this movie, but they were actually married in real life. Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy. But getting back to the story real quick, you have these developers who want to tear down this building, I guess to build whatever, and these thugs are trying to kick out these people, led by Michael Carmine, his character. And the cast, you have Hume Cronin, his character, Jessica Tandy's in the film, Elizabeth Pena, who was in Jacob's Ladder and Rush Hour, she's one of the tenants. You have this artist type character, Frank McRae. Yeah, from Last Action Hero, he was the Mad Chief, the Angry Chief. He plays a nice character in the film. Doesn't really say too much, but, good performance by Frank McRae. And they're trying to figure out what can they do. They're about to get kicked out. Their building is about to be demolished. And that's when they get these going somewhere. And that's when they get visited by these little spaceships, which you see on the cover here. Now, and that's when they kind of discovered these little spaceships, and, they're friendly, and, they're on the roof. They stay on the roof. Jessica Tandy's character has, some form of dementia, and she's the first one to discover these little spaceships, and the people in the building don't really believe her. But then when the people discover these little spaceships, that's when they become friendly with these little ships. And at points, the spaceships are trying to, repair the building. You have one scene where Michael Carmine, he bashes up because I think there's this diner, like right when you walk into the building on the very first floor. Hume Cronin's character has this diner. Michael Carmine's character smashes up the windows, and then the spaceships, they come back and repair the windows and repair the diner. So the spaceships are, repairing different parts of the building, and, it's interesting to, very interesting effects too, especially at this time. So again, it's about these tenants, being friendly with these little spaceships and, and kind of like pets, But that's the story, pretty much. And I kind of paused there for a minute because, when the spaceships come in, of course, you're not going to get a whole lot of, where did they come from, or, backstory or origins of these little spaceships. But, it was fine. I mean, it didn't bother me, that these little spaceships, there's no explanation as to where they come from, or, again, origin, backstory, if you will. They just sort of come in around the 25-minute mark of the film. But I liked it because, I thought these little spaceships right here, I thought they were cool. I liked that the tenants, like, they kind of see him as, I don't know if pets, if you want to use that as the right word, but, they feed them, and, like, they eat different, like, bolts and nails and, different metal parts. And, again, you got one scene where Michael Carmine's character is trying to kick out some characters, and the little spaceships, they fight back. And then you have another scene where Michael Carmine's character, again, he's the thug that's trying to kick out the people. There's this one scene where he's on the roof and he gets sort of fried because he's messing with their little hiding spot. And that was cool. And, as far as the cast, the characters, Hume Cronin, I thought he was good here. Again, you would see him in Cocoon, him and Jessica Tandy. And I always liked Jessica Tandy as well. I mean, like I said before, they were married in real life. And Jessica Tandy, of course, Driving Miss Daisy. She was also in, Cocoon and Fried Green Tomatoes. I always liked her as an actress. And I think she passed away in the early 90s. Like, she's one of those actresses that if they made like a Spider-Man film in the 80s, like, to me, she would be like the perfect Aunt May. That's what I kind of see her as. But, she was good here. Again, her character has some kind of form of dementia where, she's kind of out there. She would keep calling the Michael Carmine character, Bobby. I think it's her son or something, but, not the case. And you got some of the characters, like I said, you got Elizabeth Pena, which unfortunately she passed away a few years ago. And again, it's sad because a lot of this cast is gone. But Elizabeth Pena, she was in Rush Hour. She was like Chris Tucker's partner, before Jackie Chan comes in. She's the female cop. She was in Jacob's Ladder. Very good actress. And she's good here. Frank McRae as the character Harry. And again, he's sort of a quiet type, a silent type. But I like that. I like the way that Frank McRae plays the characters very innocent-like. And again, you would see him. I think he was in Rocky 2 and I think Lock Up and, Last Action Hero. Very good actor. And, you got some other characters. You have this artist type character. I forgot the actor's name, but, the little subplot between him and Elizabeth Pena, it's there. It's not something I cared about tremendously, but it's there. And I was trying to think what are the characters in here. You have one little appearance by Wendy Shaw, if I'm pronouncing that right. You've seen her before in The Burbs and Inner Space. She appears in the beginning. So, I mean, really good cast here. I thought, especially Hume Cronin, Jessica Tandy, being married in real life, you really see that here. And they had a sweet chemistry. And all the characters had a sweet chemistry. It's a innocent, it's a good family movie. And again, all the characters are, it's nicely acted. And when it comes to the spaceships, I thought the effects were really good, especially for 1987. And I liked certain aspects of the spaceships, how, one ship would... That guy next door, I swear, he pulls out every time and he takes off like that. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying. Like the little spaceships would sort of plug it into a receptacle, like you see right here, and move things around the house and try to fix little things, fix up the diner, fix up windows, what have you. And it would steal, again, different parts to feed itself. Like how they come in the beginning where they would steal, Jessica Tandy's toasters, certain appliances. And again, people might say, well, we don't really get a backstory or where did they come from, but that didn't bother me too much. Again, they just sort of come in, but I liked it because to me the characters helped. I thought the acting was good. I thought the spaceships, looked fine. And to me, the special effects hold up. I thought it was really good special effects. Especially, at the end where their building gets demolished, but it's rebuilt because all these little spaceships come in. And I know I'm sort of getting ahead of myself a little bit. Now, it was directed by Matthew Robbins. And I believe, I'm going to get my notes right here. Matthew Robbins directed Dragon Slayer, which I've never seen, The Legend of Billie Jean, which I've heard about, but he also wrote Mimic, which is a good little sci-fi movie. I'm not sure who wrote the film. Let's see here. Yeah, screenplay by Brad Bird, Matthew Robbins, and Brent Maddock and S.S. Wilson. And also, too, which I was, watching this again because I have seen the film before, and I was listening to the score, and I'm like, there's some parts of the score that sounds like something that was used in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And then come to find out when I was doing some research afterward that, yeah, they did use some of the music that was used in here was also used in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And I'm like, okay, I thought that sounded familiar. But, it's still a good score. And, like I said, at the end of the day, batteries not included. It's a good, family movie. I mean, if you're looking for a film, for the family that has good characters, a sweet story, and, these little spaceships, are pretty cool to look at. And, like I mentioned, some of those other films that Matthew Robbins directed, I haven't really seen much of his work. I've heard of The Legend of Billie Jean, but I haven't seen Dragon Slayer. Then there's some other ones that I didn't mention. But, I thought Matthew Robbins did a good job directing, and it's a sweet cast. The acting is good. So, yeah, batteries not included. It's a good family movie, a good 80s movie, with some sci-fi mixed in. And I liked, the look of the spaceships. So, yeah, that's my review of Batteries Not Included. I recommend the film. But up next, I'll be reviewing 10 Things I Hate About You. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching my review. And have a good day.